Respected Ambassador of India to Netherlands, Excellency Shri Pradeep Kumar Rawat, dear alumni of ICCR, Dutch friends of the Gandhi Centre and the Embassy of India, my Suriname brothers and sisters, my Gandhi Centre colleagues and dear viewers. A warm welcome to the 71st Foundation Day of the ICCR and this webinar. Indian Council for Cultural Relations has been functioning since 1950, April 9th, 1950, the day it was founded. This day is being celebrated in all the international centers, which are 39 in number. In the regional centers and the headquarters, Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Azad Bhavan, Delhi. This year, we are celebrating the 71st Foundation Day. In 2018, we celebrated this day in the Gandhi Centre live in a grand way. In 2019, we celebrated online, and even today, we are full of enthusiasm while we celebrate this day. Gandhi Centre celebrates the ICCR Foundation Day as an Alumni Day. Our alumni are those who have been honored with an ICCR scholarship and visited and studied in the glorious India, rich in its culture, traditions, and values. Indeed, it is a mark of distinction to be honored with this prestigious award and to be selected as one amongst a competition of those from several countries. Today, we have our esteemed Ambassador, Excellency Shri Pradeep Kumar Rawat, Ambassador of India to Netherlands. I am honored to invite him to speak on this occasion. Sir.
Thank you, Nirmala ji. And first of all, let me wish all of you a very warm welcome, and hope that all of you had a very safe and enjoyable weekend, since today is Sunday. And I'm sure that people who have joined us from Netherlands are certainly looking forward to that magic day, 21st April, because some of the media news have already raised our hopes that we would be moving into a bit of normalcy, and participants who are joining from India, I wish all of you safe and health in coming days, because I believe that in India we are now moving into another peak, and hopefully we would be able to handle that peak very well as we had handled the previous peak. It's also important that we have achieved the landmark of 100 million vaccine doses already. So while the 100 million looks fantastic in terms of absolute number, but in relative terms, it still falls short of 10% of India's population. So just to give the sense of proportion of challenge that India faces, and all of you, I'm sure during your association with India as ICCR scholar, you would have certainly seen it, felt it, and would have also lived it when you were in India. And that is what is the strength of India. I have been, I think, saying this sentence again and again, that there is no other environment which prepares a person better to deal with anything that can be thrown at you than India. whether it's in terms of diversity, that you move to another part of India within your own country and you suddenly feel you are illiterate because you really can't even make out the signage in some parts of India and you don't understand what people are saying. You feel a bit of alien in a sense because of some of the food habits and so on and so forth. But in the end, if you spend one day in India, it's almost like, and if you're traveling, it's almost like you are traveling through whole of Europe in that sense, in terms of diversity and the challenges, and even much more. So from education point of view, I think it's a great educator, both in terms of personal education, but also in terms of learning from the ancient and what I will say rustic wisdom. Sometimes you get such great wisdom from people who are in a very what should I say in completely non-urban centers. Uh, One may feel that they are not having any glorious degrees, but the wisdom that they have about life is sometimes very refreshing. Their view about life, and that is what is, to my mind, is the ultimate objective of any education. That we live better and we help people around us and people connected with us to live better, and in whatever way. For example, the medical community today is helping us to cope better with COVID-19, uh, either through taking care of us or creating medicines or vaccines. Teachers, if there are any teachers among you, I think are trying to figure out ways that how during this challenging time the education remains uninterrupted, and many other things, in a sense, how to look after ourselves, how to take care of our psychological challenges, the social challenges, so that we do not stop being human. Because the way the coronavirus is kind of boxing us all within smaller, sometimes you start to feel that, and the way we are interacting, that whether we are already in the age of robots or not. So hopefully, I think come April 21, and when we can maybe, I really don't know, can move to terraces and enjoy and things like that, I suppose we'll start to feel normal again. What I would be interested, in a sense, to understand from each one of you, what is your takeaway from your association with ICCR and through ICCR with India? How we can actually use that experience of yours to take this enterprise forward and better, because as I said, that the kind of syncretic forces that are present in India, those forces today are becoming even more relevant for the world, especially when we look at what is happening, this so-called K type of recovery, where people who are already well-to-do are going to become even better, and people who are not so well-to-do, have-nots, are going further down. So in a sense, when we look at the economic figures, it does show that the countries are growing. But below that, there are a lot of tensions, particularly in haves and have-nots. So those are the things I think one has to also pay attention to. And education, which is a big leveler, uh, if that continues to suffer, people who could use education education to move up and to make more contribution, I think they would face far greater challenges than maybe people who have access to technology, have access to more resources. So the gap, which was shrinking, may actually widen in a short term. And that is where I feel that some of the education systems that are there in India, you have seen it, using digital technology, using maybe smart phones, in a sense, something which makes it far more accessible for each one and everyone could be very relevant. And in that sense, if there are any ideas, if there are any possibilities for us to use this global ICCR alumni community to make an impact within their own societies, within their own countries, through their linkages with India, I think it would be something worth the effort and would certainly create much greater goodwill for this community to which I'm sure all of you proudly belong. And with these, I think I wish you all very well, success, and hope that this community, ICCR alumni community, continues to grow from strength to strength. Thank you very much. Thank you well.
Thank you, Excellency, for this talk, for encouraging all of us and the alumni who are here with us. Also talking about taking us to the journey in India, talking about the wisdom in India. No matter people had the formal education or not, they are wise people and they have a lot of knowledge of the various texts of Ayurveda and so on. And also to remember that how well India has handled the coronavirus, as well as it has helped it has helped several other countries also to fight this pandemic. Thank you, sir, once again. We have amongst us ICCR scholars who have been in India to study under the ICCR scholarship. We also have senior scholars who studied in India long time back and have established schools today and have their students performing now. We have fresh ICCR scholars also in this webinar. So let's begin with Ms. Jahan Manula Mazhari. Jahan Manula Mazhari is from Amsterdam, who has been to India a long time back to study Mohiniyattam. And as Ambassador Sir has said that what is your takeaway from this scholarship? You go to India, so you only not study the art, but explore all around the vibrant India and take advantage of the opportunities as well, along with your studies, see the culture and traditions of India. We have Jahan Manula actually going to South India to learn Mohiniyattam. And after that, she actually runs down to attend another studies, which was not a part of the scholarship, but they were teaching Kalari Paitu. So she did two teaching learnings at the same time. She studied Mohiniyattam, she would run back to learn Kalari Paitu. And today she's very popular in Netherlands for her Kalari Paitu. She has also performed her Kalari Paitu at the Yoga Day in 2018. That was when it was live. And well, we could have had several other times where she could perform, but due to the pandemic and the close down, that we couldn't invite her. But she has also made a nice performance in 2018 on the ICCR Foundation Day. She has spoken about her teachers. She has spoken about her feelings for India and what all she has experienced in India. As well, she had a very strong Kalari Paitu performance in the Gandhi Centre. I invite Jahan Manula Mazhari to give her presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm very honored to be here with you this morning and to meet you. Thank you for the presentations. I would like to say that I find the speech of Mr. Ambassador very moving because the economical inequalities is also, as an artist, something you wonder how can you contribute or support and help people through the arts. This is a big question. I think now in the pandemic also we wonder in what way, what is the meaning, in what way can our arts be meaningful? For that, I will go back to the journey in India in the year 2000, so that's far, far away, where I had the scholarship of the ICCR for Mohini Attam, and I went also to do Kalari. What I always found so inspiring and special is in the Indian arts, I could feel that there was something more than the art itself. But what it was behind it, I could not exactly pinpoint. There was the beauty of the Mohiniyattam with the mudras and the facial expressions, the rhythm, the incredible stories, the richness. But I always felt there's something else. And what is that that makes me so hungry and makes me so passionate about these arts? Then behind Kalaripayattu, there was the same, because it's a very hardworking martial art. You exhaust yourself a lot. It's very beautiful. But I felt also there is something that makes me now more than 20 years to continue to teach this. And what is it that feeds my soul beyond the fact of performing and teaching and sharing this art? And so now for 3 years, I studied a study of Ayurveda. And somehow by studying Ayurveda, all this has come together. I suddenly understand the depth of the layers that there are behind these Indian arts that was not spoken, that was not explained through my dance or Kalari teacher, because maybe they're taken for granted in a way, or they're so much part of the culture. But now through studying Ayurveda here, I suddenly understand how this wisdom and knowledge about the health and understanding of the universe and the spirituality are all interwoven in all the arts in India. And I think this is one of the richness that we can share with people, because these arts are tools for life. They are, yeah, I think this is where we can support each other and help with each other's growth. It doesn't matter at what level you are economically, but for yourself to feel self-confident and to work on your own growth and stand in life in a healthy way. I find that, yeah, all these Indian arts, they really give extreme useful tools. And I also believe that maybe it's possible to give workshops or webinars, giving basics. I don't know if this is already happening, but as the Indian Embassy, as the ICCR, to offer kind of small talks on basics of Ayurveda and also how the arts relate, because in Ayurveda, music is also a tool for feeling better. Dance, facial expression, yoga, these are all tools that combine in Ayurveda together. So I think this could be a way of reaching to people and giving them tools in this situation where we feel very isolated. Yes. And so I'm very grateful. And in this period, I have been very lucky because I have gone out to teach my students in the open air. And I have felt at which point, and the students have also expressed at which point it was so vital for them within the corona to have something to hang on to, some kind of discipline, something that they continue to grow and do something together. So the Kalari and Mohini have really been important tools also for other people, Dutch students here in Holland. So I don't know if I have to add something else. Thank you very much. So my idea what I think would be beautiful is also to do collaborations within ICCR and Indian people of the embassy to see what we could offer in terms of webinars, sharing basic thoughts and tools for people. That would be a great pleasure to participate in.
Thank you, Jahan. That was wonderful. And I would like to inform you also that we have an app now, which is going to start around the coming week on learning Sanskrit. It is a very simple app with caricatures and all that, and it is more like a gaming system wherein you very easily learn Sanskrit language. So you must join that. And ICCR has given an access to everybody in every country to learn in a simple way the Sanskrit language. So I shall inform everybody about it very soon. I have put it on our Facebook and our Twitter, of course, and I will personally get in touch with you all to know to get used to this app and get registered for this. Thank you very much, Jahan, once more.
Okay, thank you very much.
And now we have our very popular Sitra Bonu, who was on a scholarship in India. Why is she so popular in Netherlands? Because everywhere, in every auditorium, she has been doing a lot of performances. And you can ask her information about the auditoriums, where are they, what is it. Sitra has all the information in her hand. Sitra Bonu had been to India to learn Bharatnatyam, and it's amazing that today she runs a very beautiful school. Since I came here in Netherlands, she has been inviting me every time for her programs. And even in COVID, I believe she's been doing a lot of online programs. And she had been to India to learn, and you see now that Sitra Bonu is not performing herself personally, but she has a large number of students who are learning under her. And she also is very good at the classical, singing with the beats for Bharatnatyam. She goes very well with that. She has performed at the Gandhi Centre also on our foundation day earlier, and also she has been performing in the Netherlands everywhere. So I invite now Sitra Bonu to make her presentation, please.
Thank you, Mrs. Sharma. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Namaskar, Mr. Rawat and my other fellow scholarships students. Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Well, that was quite a big introduction. I don't know if it's matching, but still, thank you. I would like to tell you about my adventures in India. I went with ICCR scholarship, but I went also several times. So there is like, a flow of going almost every 2 years and sometimes longer periods. What I learned in India is I got a connection with my motherland. My ancestors are from, of course, from India, and my grandparents migrated to Suriname, and then my generation migrated to the Netherlands, where we are living now. But of course, the roots, they are there, and I want to take you through a journey. I made a small PowerPoint, and according to that photos, I will take you through it. Let me try if it works. So, I think I need some help how to get it on the screen. I'll call my...
I think you have to share your screen and then look up the PowerPoint.
Okay, of course, share the screen. Where's that? Yeah, here, yes. And this.
You have the share screen below, just, you can have a
Yes.
look just below share screen.
Yes, yes. Wait 1 second. Arjun, 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 I need help. I'm coming, sorry, 1 second. This. Sorry. They are waiting. No. That's it, eh? And then this one. Oh, this one. Okay. So can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes, we can, if we
And
can.
you can hear me also, I think. Yeah. So I started in 1986 after 6 years dance education. I did my Arangetram together with another lady. And this is my Guru Chandrika. And this is me when I did my Arangetram. That is the dance debut. After that, I went to India and I learned in the tradition of this guru, Kanchipuram Elapapillai. That is a particular style, Bani, in India. So all the teachers from whom I learned are his students. So that's a particular style. Then this is in India, where I learned from Master Venkatesh in the middle. On the right side of him, it's me. And then there was also another lady there who was learning. So he is already expired, but I learned years and years from him. And he was a senior student of Elapa. So I'm very trained in this particular style. Here I'm learning not only dance, but also the theory and how to tell the balls of the dances. This is another teacher. Her name is Lakshmi Vishwanathan. She's a famous dancer in Chennai. And she's also a senior student of Kanchipuram Elapapillai, from which I learned all the choreographies and in this particular style. Then I went also to Bangalore to learn from the famous Padmini Rao. She's here. And this is one of my students who was, I took her with me to learn from her also. And this was my host. You know, when you go to India, you want to feel safe. And we stayed with this lady. She's very nice. And she took care of us when we were there. And so you can see that feeling is good. You know, people take care of you like you were their own child. This is Lakshmi Vishwanathan with the music group. We also recorded the music for the dance. That is also a good experience because you learn to cooperate with the musicians. Beside that, I also learned vocal music because it's part of the dance education. And this is the famous Carnatic vocal singer, Charumati Ramachandran. I learned from her. And also I took side classes in Veena, interested in music. So then in the due of years, I went back to India, and also I brought my students to India to do their Arangetram there. So these are 3 of the students who did their dance debut in Chennai. In The Hague, also students did their Arangetram. These are also other students who did it. These are also other students. So I have, I think, maybe 18 students who finished their dance course, and a few of them have established their own dance schools. This is 2019, where I'm still performing, and I like to cooperate with other dancers. So you can see Orisi dance, Kuchipudi, Kathak, and I like to organize programs and dance together. This is also 2019. I'm still studying, and I got my senior dance diploma in Bangalore. So what is India did to me? I have a very, maybe I'm lucky, I had so very nice teachers. And maybe also the time when I went, at that time, not many students were there. Yeah, a lot from France were there to learn dance. And I had also the privilege to learn from the older generation of teachers, because they have the real connection to the past, to because it started in Tanjore with the Tanjore Quartet. And then descendants from there, I think 2nd or 3rd generation, I learned from them. And now the things are changing in India, because we have a lot of dancers who don't keep to the lineage. And that is the trend. But I am in between. So I'm lucky that I have learned the lineage, which I still teach to my students. And have been strong in that. I was able to find teachers who were in the same parampara, and then I can give that to my students, but I am also able to innovate. So that's the big advantage. And of course, what you learn in India is not only dance. You learn really the love. You learn love and respect. And I'm very grateful for that, because here you don't get it. It's more like, business thing. And in India, you get a person, it's like your father or your sister or your mother who you are learning from. And I have a great respect for all the knowledge they have, and that they want to share it with us. But it depends on your own attitude, if you're waiting, and then you can receive. So that is my big experience in India. And sometimes it's not easy, but it is really like one big family, and everybody is very friendly and helpful. And I am very happy that I really could go into the art, because I went several times. I don't think one time is enough. You have to go several times personally, not nowadays you can learn online, but that's a different experience. So here in the Netherlands, I took the art with me, and I am now spreading the art also. I feel I'm doing it in a genuine way. So that is also thanks to what I have learned in India. So I feel also the responsibility to do it in a genuine way and in a good way, not to pollute the dance. Of course, influences are there, but you have to know how to deal with it. Now I do, I like to organize programs and cooperate with other artists, especially with the musicians, because I feel that is not enough in the Netherlands. And we have to build on it to do more dance with live music. So that is what I'm trying to do. And I want to show you to to end my talk, a program which I did in 2018 with a live orchestra and with cooperation of a ballet teacher who I work with. We innovate some movements and in a neat way, I can say. And then we want to reach a broader audience, but the inside of the dance is the same, but also we want to make it appealing for a little broader audience. So a new wave. The program is also called New Waves of Indian Dance. So I hope I could have taken you along with my journey to India, which is like a lifeline for me. And I hope you will enjoy a small part of the program. Thank you.
Goedenavond, dames en heren. New Waves of Indian Dance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sitra. This was very beautiful. In fact, I see that I have seen the complete video and you have tried to cut it down and bring it, compress it so that we can have it in this time. But if you see the original one, it's very beautiful. It's so attractive. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I would like to say that Sitra Banu is not only learnt in India, taught in India. She had several students, but her students also have opened their own schools. So you see, this is like a second generation for you, right? Second generation of opening of the schools. Thank you very much. This is really great. talking of the hospitality that you mentioned, yes, India is known for its hospitality. You go to everybody's door, you see. We believe in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and also that the visitor, whoever comes to our house, is a god. So we treat him, we welcome him. You know, what India has is that every morning people just wash their gate, near the gate entrance, and they make a rangoli. The thought behind it is that every visitor is a god and is welcome. So it's like welcoming the guest to your house. You see, so early morning you make this rangoli, clean the floor, and you are trying to welcome the guest. So this is a thought, and Indians every time they have time for you, they are very hospitable and they'll try to help you. So this is a very big point of the people of India, you see, and then you have emphasized it. I'm thankful to you. We have a next speaker is Marianne Schwasak. Marianne Schwasak is a Drupad singer. Lovely, and she also, it's very very happy feeling that all these alumni have their students performing today. Marianne Schwasak sings Drupad, and she has also performed at the Gandhi Centre, and that was an excellent evening we had with you, Marianne. I welcome you on this platform to speak, to make your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you, Mrs. Sharma, and Ambassador, and of course, all my colleagues. So my journey, I would like to just tell you a short path of my journey. Started already in 1992, which is almost 30 years ago. So I got a scholarship at that time from ICCR for playing sarangi, but also as Jahan, I did another subject. I was singing Drupad vocal, and my Indian music journey started 5 years before, because I entered the Rotterdam Conservatorium to study sarangi with Joep Boer. He's a very important man in the Indian music in the Netherlands and all over the world, because he writes a lot, and he is the founder of the Conservatorium education of Indian classical music. And at that time, the artistic director was Ustad Zia Muhyiddin Dagar. So with him, I started my journey in Drupad vocal. So after the studies in the conservatorium, I was very blessed to get the ICCR scholarship to deepen these two subjects in India. And there I met, a beautiful country with beautiful people and a totally different system of learning music, because I was used to have, okay, with Joep it was a little bit different because he had studied in India for a very long time. So I met him more often, but normally you have 1 hour a week and that's it. So suddenly I was diving into this system of Guru Sisha Parampara with everything around. I was meeting every day. I was creating this relationship with them.
Marianne, there is a problem with there is a lot of disturbance from your side. Just have a look.
That's very strange. I have no idea. Maybe I can unplug the phone. It's like this better?
It stopped, yes.
It's better? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one. So so I started my journey then in 1992. So it's a long time ago. And the biggest thing I learned was under the Guru Sisha Parampara. So it meant that I was meeting my teachers every day, and I was building up this beautiful relation with them. And as I heard already from Citra also, I became like a family member. So for me, what was my biggest thing, what I learned in India is the discipline. We used to wake up at 5 in the morning, start our daily practice for vocal, and after that, of course, you made tea for Ustad. You were just totally in life there, every day learning, every day looking at classes from others, every day practicing. So it was for me a very long path, these 3 years in diving into the music. Another thing, in 2009 around, I came back to Holland. I've been traveling up and down to India every year, twice, sometimes 3 times even. So for me, it has been my second homeland, we can say. I started a project called Women in Drupad. because I saw that there were not so many girls singing online, or online you could not see much of women singing Drupad. So I started this project, and I did it with my first student, Celine Wadier. So we traveled in Europe, even in Pakistan, in India together. And for me, it has been important to show us women on stage. See, nowadays it is much more common, but in those days it was hardly seen, especially in Drupad. And I have been, of course, I have been given the possibility to also perform in the Gandhi Centre, where I could introduce another student of mine, Marloes Milius. So for me, what gave India to me is of course, the beauty, the closeness with the teachers, the friendship, you know, being or staying together like a family. But if I look at the music, also the love for one sound. So the way you get your lessons, the discipline I have been taught, you know, was for me very important. And since Drupad is a slow moving music, for me, this going into one sound has been very important. And since now we are in this difficult situation of the pandemic, we cannot move anywhere, so to say. I started to do this singing one note online in the morning, as I had to do with my teacher, only we don't start at 5, but at 7, so from 7 to 8. And it is amazing how many people joined this practice from all over the world. And in that way, I think it is a very peaceful way to start the day. And it is also at the same time connecting everybody, as we can connect online. So I'm not in favor of electronics, as some of you very well know, but I think in this way it was very helpful, you know, and it opened up some things to reach others with the art I have been given from my teachers in India. So I would like to conclude this little talk by just showing you a very short part of me singing with Celine in a very short clip. I hope I can manage. Can you see my, oh, sorry. Can you see my screen now? No. No. Yeah, right here it is. A very short piece. So what you can see here is actually the way I learned with my teachers, and I think that is a beautiful system in India. You just have to sit on stage with your teacher and you have to sing together. And as you can see here, Celine is very apt in singing already. She has her own students. She's singing now with her own female students on stage. So I think I passed on something beautiful from India, and that for me is mainly the way to teach. That it is, you have to establish a relation with your teacher. You have to get to know each other very well, and you have to really trust each other. And within that feeling of trust, you can learn everything you want. So I'm very grateful for this this method of teaching, and I apply it myself because I have here well, I'm now not in the Netherlands but in Czech. I have a place here where I'm teaching together with my Indian Guru Bhais workshops, and the way we teach is the way I learned in India. So you are together, you're close together, and you sit, and there's no time limit. It starts early morning and it stops late evening. And I think that is the biggest gift I could get. So thank you, and I'm happy I could share this part of my journey. And thanks to the ICCR, because that's where it all started. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne, for this. And it was again nice hearing a small clip of your music. Thanks a lot, and wish you all the best. The three key activities of ICCR comprise the essence of its work relating to soft power projection, namely the functioning of the ICCs in missions abroad, the chairs of Indian studies in foreign universities, and the foreign student scholarship program, which we are discussing here today. Each year, ICCR spends over 50% of its budgetary resource on these three major activities. Soft power is a comprehensive rubric that includes civilizational heritage and traditional knowledge, language, literature, philosophy, including religions, education, and academia, embracing in its ambit the 21st century usage of social media through internet. For us in India, a unique aspect of soft power is the emotional bonding, which we have been hearing some of the scholars talking about, and the growing might, socio-political and economic, of Indian diaspora. We are extremely happy that we, even Netherlands has been having more students than regular since past 3 years. And I'm very happy that a lot of students are showing interest in joining and learning the culture of India. Our next speaker would be Mr. Satyakam Mukham Singh. And Satyakam Mukham Singh has got a Sangeet Visharad from the Bharatiya Sangeet and Nartan Shiksha Peeth, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Mumbai. And he's come to me several times discussing certain tiny problems which I discussed it with the ICCR, and then and there on the table solved it for him. Now he has still a very small problem. He's into his PhD, and after COVID, that's something like a bead from the strand has been lost somewhere in Netherlands and is not being able to be connected. So I'll help you very soon with this, Satyakam. Let us hear your story about the scholarship.
Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Nirmala Sharma, for having us here. And I also want to say it's a pleasure speaking also in front of Ambassador Rawat. And I want to thank also the Embassy and ICCR for granting me these opportunities to have been studying in India. Well, I will immediately start with the PowerPoint, with the slides. And I think I will also skip some parts. Let's see. Yeah, is it sharing at this moment?
Yes, it's there. Yes.
Okay, excellent. So my studies at well, I will tell you how I got interested in learning in India through ICCR. I already started at the age of 7 in India when my father was researching for his PhD. So at the time that I was living there, I started picking up North Indian violin. Then later on, I still wanted to continue with music, so I joined the Rotterdam Conservatory. So there I was learning under Lenneke van Stalen, which we could also hear in the video of Sitra Bonu. And also, of course, we were learning under the supervision of Marianne Swasek, who was coordinating at that time. And well, at the time at the conservatory, we also had master classes of Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia and Pandit Dhruva Ghosh, whom I was also visiting later from onwards from 2010 to continue at their school or Gurukul. And that was also during my bachelor and masters that I kept going more to India to, I'd say, widen my horizon. And at that point, after graduating, I decided I wanted to go more into depth of learning. So I decided, well, I kept going on for many years because it was too complicated for me first to figure out how to get this scholarship, as I had some phobia of this bureaucracy. But in the end, I got some help from Guru Bai from Bombay, who told me how to apply. So at that time, I finally got to learn from Dhruva Ghosh at at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, where I started doing that Sangeet Visharad degree course. So at this point, I could expand what I have been learning before, but more with the interpretation of the sarangi, how to apply it on the violin. Unfortunately, Guruji passed away after 6 months of learning. So at that point, I had to go to another trouble, but I managed to get transferred to Delhi, where I started learning at Sri Ram Bharatiya Kala Kendra under Pandit Biswajit Roy Chowdhury. So this was also a big life-changing experience because I decided to learn from him, as his style is completely different, but still very appealing, as it even though the previous style would be focused more on the application of vocal music on the instrument, this would be more an application of instrumental music on the violin, which was a new challenge. So I completely had to change my style, on which I'm still working. Well, my experience of learning at the Kendra was very, very great, as you have your main subject, but then there you can also take different other subjects. So on the left photo, there's a picture with Guruji Biswajit Roy Chowdhury, and on the left, this Nirmal Mandal, who was passed away recently. So I also took a tabla course at the same time. So I was studying for 6 days a week while I was living in the hostel. So it was a great environment because it is like you are eating and breathing music all the time. So you are staying with fellow students in this environment, and it's also very peaceful because you are in a gated society with fellow musicians and dancers. So I had 3 days of tabla class and 3 days of my main subject class. So all you did was just practicing at the time that you didn't have class. And then your Sunday was not much of a day to take rest because you had to get ready for Monday to continue the classes. So you would be submerged into this art. And we were living in an area which is also surrounded by theaters. Like the Kendra is also connected to the Kamani Auditorium. So we could just walk and listen to concerts every day after having our own classes. So at some point, yeah, there's nothing else going on in your world but arts. So the Kendra also is promoting students in a very, very nice way, that you get connected with fellow students, but also with the masters. So here there are some pictures of where we are performing for Basant Panchami. And also we have on the down on the left, there's a picture where we play in the Jankaral, where we have more, how to say it, they're a concert, but they feel more like exams because we always have some guest masters coming to attend, which is how to say, sharpen the minds of the musicians, as everyone knows exactly what you're doing, so there is no hiding behind any fake tricks or gimmicks on the stage. So what also was great is that sometimes you get to accompany some great artists or students, but then alongside with teachers. So here you see there is on the right picture on top, that is Dhirendra Tiwari. He's a Kathak dancer of the Jaipur Gharana, and he's also a disciple of the big patron of this generation, Rajendra Gangani. So at some point, I got a chance to also accompany his some of his programs at the Kendra, which created also bigger opportunities. Oh, that will let's see. Yeah. So as I get to know him more and his students, I got more chances of accompanying him. So we had some, eventually we managed to get some concert in Thailand at the Royal Chulalongkorn Auditorium, where we had the tour with the Gangani family, and also in collaboration with the students and some teachers of the Kata Kendra themselves. So through this start of studying under ICCR at the Kendra, I also got it was also helping to improve my career, of course, and getting connected not only with fellow students but also with teachers, and getting to interact more with the masters. Okay, so I mixed up my story, so I will go a little bit back. Yeah, and what I was also very happy with is that the teachers will support you to perform, and you grow naturally into as a performer. And unlike how we are forcing ourselves in these days with social media and electronics to show ourselves, to put ourselves out there, it will still happen in a natural, I'd say, organic way how you grow. So you just have to work hard in front of your teacher, and at some point he will acknowledge you just by making you sit on the stage and just either playing the tanpura or just be there. And then at some point also get the chance to either perform, which can be seen on the picture below, where I had the chance to play for 15 minutes at in his support act before he would start his solo. And then the Kendra also offers great master classes. Like it was 2 years ago that we got to perform in front of Amjad Ali Khan, who is like now the prominent sarod player in his Gharana. So it was extremely scary, but also very humbling experience to get to perform in front of him and to receive feedback, and also enjoying his workshop the next day. So all of this together was great experience in learning and being submerged in the culture and in the arts, and just being there makes you grow and develop so much humility for the arts, and also what is beyond our own let's say what we in our own world where we live in. And then meeting other students is also great. Either it would be the fellow ICCR students. We expand our network, With some of them, I'm still having contact and working together. And with others, with the local students, I got to travel as well, and we did some performances outside of Delhi as well. And with others, I'm still planning to work with as soon as I return back to Delhi. But for this, I'm most grateful that by ICCR of granting me the scholarships. And it besides having the learning experience in the classes, also whenever I was free, I had some great opportunities to travel to India, which was also adding some chapters in the development of the musicality by seeing the diversity of each state of India. So I want to thank you for having me here, and this was my presentation.
Thank you, Satyakam. It was a lovely presentation, and I see in your background that you have Tanjore painting and you have so much of India in your house also. It must have been, I can understand, must have been a great honor to perform with such renowned musicians of India, coming close to them. I think that was a lovely opportunity that you had, being in Delhi, right?
That's right.
Yes, so I think you got the best of it from your scholarship. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Now we have another scholar who's also a very senior scholar, Charita Smith Gajadhar, who is also studied in India dance, and we invite her for her presentation here.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. First of all, I want to thank you and ICCR and His Excellency Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rawat for this opportunity to present something on ICCR. My scholarship was rewarded in 1996, so that's a whole time back again. And it was rewarded because of the assistance and help of the wife of Professor Bohr, Durga Bohr, who was also an Odissi dancer. So somehow paths meet. You meet people and then you get disconnected and then you meet again. And I went to India and I was very well received by ICCR. And there was this lady, Dr. Bhattacharya. I assume she's not there anymore, but she really gave me some help when I was in trouble finding space and everything. So the ICCR help and guidance is very much appreciated. I assume that lots of students still profit by the craftsmanship or even, efficiency of the ICCR as an institute. For me personally, the ICCR scholarship was like a godsend present. Being from the diaspora of India, I was born in Suriname in South America, but my heart always went into the direction of India. So when I did get this opportunity by means of a scholarship, even though I was married, we both decided, my husband and me, that it was worthwhile taking that big step, even as a married woman. So when I went to India, it was like a big, big thing. It was all worlds colliding and then opportunities opening up. And being in India felt like my heart could blossom. And that's exactly what happened. I studied at the Sri Ram Bharatiya Kala Kendra in Delhi, Mandi House. And from there, I was invited by Guru Maidha Raut, one of the prominent gurus instrumental in the revival of Orissa in the late 50s of the last century. And he just celebrated his 90th birthday. So we're very happy that he's still around. And under his tutelage and of his daughter, I came to study, but also perform at Triveni Kalasangam Center Theatre. And of course, I did lots of performances with the School of Guruji. And I don't know what happened, but, and one of the things that really stayed with me was that ICCR organizes for its students those study trips, and they take you under their wing, and you travel with them. And for me, I was very lucky because that particular year, the study trip went to Orissa. So I went to see the Jagannath Mandir. I saw Konark, the Sun Temple. So for me, it was like just wonderful and lovely. So for me, a lot of things came together. And also being a ICCR scholarship recipient, I used to get invitations to see the programs in the theater at Azad Bhavan. So that's a place where I saw lots of very, very big artists. Artists you couldn't see when you were living here. Although I must say at that time, the Tropical Institute in the Netherlands had a director who was very much favorable of Indian classical music and dance. So we did get to see a lot, but still the quality and everything you saw in Azad Bhavan was out of this world. So those are very, very fond memories. Also being at the Kala Kendra, at the Spring Festival, in an open air theater with the palm trees softly whistling, and then Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasya performing is so magical that it's still ingrained into my memories. So that's all because of ICCR. After I got back from ICCR, let's see if I can find my presentation as such. I don't have a big presentation, very small. Can you see it? This is Guruji, Guru Maidha Raut. Are you able to see it? Please note.
Yes, we are able to see it.
Yeah, this is Guruji at Triveni. And Guruji at that time was still very vital and was also teaching. So I was very, very lucky to be amongst those who have been taught by him. And even when I was there, he got ill and he stopped teaching, but I was there when he was still teaching. And I don't have any, this is an image also from Triveni. And as you can see, it's a while back, as I said. And this is my advanced diploma I got from the Mayadhara School of Orisi Dance. And when I got back, doors opened in the form of organizations and who asked me to perform. I was a regular guest for Saraswati Arts at those times. So I performed for them lots of times. But one of the main performances I did actually was in 2002 when the embassy and Dr. Kaushik, the former ambassador, requested me to perform at the horticultural exhibition, the Floriade, where they had like these pavilions of countries presenting themselves. And on the day that India was to present, she asked me to perform, which I did. And she sent me afterwards such a lovely letter, and it was like a magical performance. So that is like one of the high points for me, being able to perform for the embassy, doing something back as an ICCR scholar. For now, when I was in India, I also got into connection of doing yoga. So I went to the school of Shivananda in east of Kailash in Delhi. And that was my first step into yoga. And also that was very magical. What can I say? India is magical. There were like, we started at 6 in the morning and birds, peacocks were crying, cockatoos were making noise, and we were singing mantras, and it was very, very magical. So when I came back to Holland, to the Netherlands, I started in yoga studies here, a Dutch one. In 2006, I completed that. And then I assumed my yoga studies further with an Indian-based study. and that is the Himalayan meditative yoga tradition by Swami Rama. And I have my level 1 in that. So I'm also a yoga teacher, hatha yoga and meditation teacher presently. And I have to say that due to the pandemic, unfortunately, everything has come to a standstill, which I assume all the teachers here find it very, very hard and difficult, especially if it's something that's very physical and you need to be around people to correct or just to be there as being yourself. So it's very hard. But what I've noticed that I personally think there should be more Indian music and dance everywhere. And I've noticed that one thing of the pandemic is that people all around the world have gotten used to posting all kinds of music and dance on the internet. And in a way it's positive, in a way it's not so positive because you can't make a shift through quality and not so good. But the other way is that it spreads, it becomes worldwide. And that I think is a very good way to go forward into sharing the big heritage that India has. And as an ICCR scholar, one of the things in the study trip I noticed was that because it's so international and it doesn't only involve academic of music and art, but also academic studies, you get to know and mix with all kinds of people. And I think that's when you want to go further in life, you have to develop, but you also have to develop your communication skills. And in that way, ICCR is very important because you get to meet people from Africa, people from the Middle East, people from South America, etc. And I think that's one of the main things, and I hope that ICCR will continue giving sponsorships to those who need it, because as His Excellency just said, that we need to be visible and we need to be there for everybody. The have-nots are the ones where our attention should go to, because those who have will get there, but those who have not, for them the steps are more difficult. So I think it's a very good way that ICCR, and it has already proven its value because its 71st year is already going in. So it proves that there's a need, and the need is not only outside of India, but also very much inside of India, because modern pop culture is very popular, but India has so much in-depth kind of music and arts that some people need to reconnect with that. Because speaking from my own experience, I feel that music and art and dance are something to be felt within the heart. And once you have felt it through your heart, you can never let go of it. Even if you are ill, you will still have this hunkering, this feeling that you need it, because it's not your body that needs it, it's your soul that needs it. So I think Indian classical music and dance, because that's my thing, of course, is something that's engraved in my heart and something I will always carry on forward. And I also like to share. I've also taken Guru Shishya Parampara from my Guruji. So I taught here in the Netherlands, I have a school. And that's the way to go forward, to share. So that's my presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Charita. That was a very nice presentation with lots of inputs from your side. We have been actually trying to help all the alumni with their problems, and when we get artists from India, just because of COVID, actually we were doing it before that. Any artist who comes from India also performs in your schools that you are has workshops in your school, lectins. So so that every school has every scholar that has had scholarship in India and has opened schools in Netherlands would benefit from it. So we had started till the COVID came in, So now that we can still put it on, because after now we have become very live on the social media, and we are having a lot of activities. I would request all the scholars who are here to be connected to our social media platforms. Why? Because we have every second or third day we are having contests, we are having activities. So much ICCR has become very active. So they have been sending us a lot of competitions, lot of classes, and lots is happening now. So I want you all to be connected, because not in once in a month or in 15 days, but nearly every alternate day at least, so that you know what are the activities from the Gandhi Centre being performed, what are the competitions. I'm very thankful to all of you who have participated in the video blogging competition. And please be connected to our social media to see what's on. And I will soon be having a webinar with you all also. Thank you very much. And our last speaker, because one, Mr. Michael Rosler, who has just got an Ayush scholarship and is in Jaipur, is not connected. Yeah, I can't find him here. So our last speaker now is Mr. Hugo William Fandu. So all about music and dances, and now we have a different person here learning the language of India. So I request Mr. Hugo William Fandu to make his presentation.
On mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I will start with a small invocation. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayam, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yesterday, I got a phone call from Professor Nirmala Sharma, and she asked me to participate in this webinar. She also told me that she got my name from Professor Dr. Gautam. So I will thank Professor Sharma and Professor Gautam for this opportunity to say a few words about my scholarship in India. Yesterday, I found a small paper, and that was my curriculum vitae. I saw that in 1983 till 1944 till 1984, I had done a course in India, certificate course. After that, in 1987 till 1989, it was written that I had done the diploma course. So I remember that in 1983, the Indian government yearly honored 2 students to study Hindi at the Kendriya Hindi Sansthan in New Delhi. So a lot of foreign students joined the course. I remember people of Brazil, Colombia, Suriname, the United States, Mexico, people from Asia like Japan, China, and then Taiwan. There was a monk and then who also studied Hindi. Also, students from Europe like France, Poland, the United Kingdom, and so on, were also joining the course. There were 4 levels during that time. a beginner's course, a medium course, courses for advanced students, teachers courses, and so on. I also remember that I also met Satyaskam's father there. In that time, he was joining the Lal Bahadur Vidyapith to study Sanskrit. So it's a long time ago. I must say that I always feel happy in India. ICCR offered trips to different parts of India. I remember they also took us to Nepal when Nepal was at that time the only Hindu kingdom, and the people were very hospitable to us. So there is a lot to say about the environment going here and there. Delhi was at that time not so developed as nowadays. You had only buses with a lot of smoke and so on. But I have heard that nowadays there is how do you call it? This anyway, so a train connection. It's very interesting to look how Delhi has developed. So I can tell a lot more about the courses I have done and the way we learn to speak Hindi, writing. Every day we have to join classes from, I think, from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock. And also they took us to a lot of functions I remember in Asad Bhavan, where you had great artists coming and perform their arts and so on. It was very interesting. So I think I will leave it here because time is running on. And I thank everyone who gave the opportunity to speak a few words today. Also the new ambassador, the new I have heard there is also a new Hindi teacher. I like to meet them, and also, of course I like to see what the Sanskrit course is because I also are interested in Sanskrit. So once again, thank you for your opportunity to you offered me to speak today in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugo. You're forgetting that you have come to our World Hindi Day. You have spoken there. I was in fact trying to find your email to send you the details. So you have come to the Gandhi Centre and taken part in several functions. And thank you very much for your presentation. It was very helpful. Be connected to our social media to know about the Sanskrit classes and more activities. However, I will soon talk to you. So this was our last speaker today, and thanks a lot everybody for making their presentations. It's so nice to see everybody on this ICCR Foundation Day once more. It's lovely to see you all and make your presentations. I thank our respected ambassador of India to Netherlands, Excellency Shri Pradeep Kumar Rawat. Beyond having a very busy schedule, I'm really thankful he could spare time to attend to this webinar. I'm also thankful to all the alumni of ICCR, the Dutch friends of the Gandhi Centre and the Embassy of India, my Suriname brothers and sisters, my Gandhi Centre colleagues, and dear viewers. Thank you very much. And once again, I wish you all a happy ICCR Foundation Day. Namaste.